Hola, clase. We're going to talk about reflexive verbs today. So these types of verbs, as you can see here, are used for when you do something to yourself. Hopefully you've noticed these verbs on your vocab list by now. And what's special about them is that they all end in SE. So even though they're verbs, they do end in SE. So their conjugation is going to be a little different, which is what we're learning about right now. So when you use reflexive verbs is when you do something to yourself. So for instance, if you're brushing your hair, like that's something you do to yourself. So that's when you have to use that SE part that comes at the end. However, if you're doing the action to someone else, like for instance, if you're brushing someone else's hair, you would not use the SE because you're not doing it to yourself. So for instance, here I have the verb cepillarse. She's brushing her own hair. However, I also have the verb cepillar, or someone is brushing someone else's hair. So the only difference between these verbs is that this one has an SE and this one does not, because she's doing it to herself. Here I have ponerse la ropa. She's putting her own clothes on, so I have that SE. Here I got rid of the SE because the mom is putting the clothes on for the daughter. Y finalmente, hay lavarse con SAA. You're washing your own hands, doing it to yourself. Y aquí hay lavar, no SAA, porque es un coche. You aren't doing it to yourself. So here's how to conjugate reflexive verbs. I'm going to do the example, we washed our hands. So that would be lavarse las manos, to wash, to ourselves because it's our hands, las manos. So step one is take off the se and move it to the front. So I'm going to delete my se here, take it off, and move it to the front. Step two is going to be change se to agree with the subject. So far I had se lavar. Our subject is we wash our hands. So I'm going to have to change se to nos. So far I have nos lavar. Las manos. We wash our hands. Step three is conjugate the verb normally. So remember, if it's irregular, you still have to follow those irregular rules. So I was doing we wash our hands. So I changed se to nos because it's we. Lavar, I take off my AR. New ending is amos. Las manos. So that's how you'd say we wash our hands. Here's all these endings again. So we could do reflexive verbs in the present tense or in the preterite tense. Let's say I'm washing my hands right now. I'd obviously use present tense since that's going on right now. If I wash my hands, let's say yesterday, I would use a preterite tense since that happened yesterday. Note that you do not use possessive adjectives with reflexives. So like earlier when I did the example, we wash our hands, I was really writing we wash the hands. So when I have that reflexive pronoun nos here, that is really replacing the R part. So if I were to do they comb their hair, I'd really be saying they comb the hair. So if I were to do this one, to comb is peinarse. And then instead of saying their, I would say el pelo. So then, of course, to make this a sentence, I actually have to conjugate it. For the they box, the reflexive pronoun is still se. So it's like I took off my se. Next step is conjugate my verb pein. So my stem is pein. For they, the ending is an, el pelo, since I wrote that original sentence in present tense. So sometimes we have two verbs in a sentence. So for instance, if I said something like I want to put on makeup, or I need to put on makeup, I have to put on makeup, I am going to put on makeup, etc. So in that case, I have two options on where to put my reflexive pronoun. I can place the reflexive pronoun before the first verb, or I could attach my reflexive pronoun to the end of my second verb. So if I'm doing I want to put on makeup, maquillarse is to put on makeup. My subject is going to be yo. So, oh, sorry, I forgot the I want part. So, quiero, I want. I'm conjugating my first verb since it's the first verb in the clause. So I want to put on makeup. Yo quiero, I want to put on makeup, maquillarse. So, to agree with yo, I have to change say to agree with yo. It's going to become may. So according to option 1, I can place that may before my first verb. So I can have yo me quiero maquillar, or I can attach my reflexive pronoun to the end of a second verb, yo quiero maquillar me. And there you have it. So that's an example with when there's two verbs, I can put my reflexive before the first verb or attached to the end of the second verb. Hasta luego.